Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mompreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hey there, and welcome to episode 71 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. In the last episode, we talked all about how to set your January, New Year, and new term up for success, and what to do and how to sync your business with your child's school calendar so that you can break down your goals, know exactly what you're working on, so that your business syncs effortlessly with the needs of your family and that you feel accomplished every term. Today's episode, I thought I'd take it one step further and share with you how to make the most of the margins of that school day, of what to do to keep your day organised and on track and get things done between school drop-off and school pick-up. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but those hours when Harrison is at school, they seem to absolutely fly by. I can sit down at my desk after I've dropped him off and feel like I have got such a long time to work on and that I can accomplish everything and I can get it all done. And then I blink and before I know it, it's 2:30 and it's suddenly time to jump in the car and go and get him from school. Those school days, they can go super, super fast. And if we're not organised and we don't know what we're working on and we're not doing what we can to make the most of that time, those days can slip by super, super quickly and go in the blink of an eye. And before we know it, it's Friday already. If you've ever felt like the school day is like a ticking clock and it leaves you scrambling to make progress on your business before pickup time, you are not alone. And hopefully what I'm going to share with you in today's episode is going to help you to stop feeling like you're racing against the clock, to make the most of the time that you have and be super productive so that you can accomplish more in those few hours than most people do in a full day. Trust me when I say it is, because that's exactly what I do. When I first started out in my business, I thought I had to work every hour under the sun and I would work all day, I would work in the evenings, I would work on the weekends if I could get away with it. But when I scaled things back and now I only work 25 hours a week on my business in the margins of the school day from 8:30 until 2:30 every single day. And actually, I get so much more done in that time than I did when I was hustling and doing all of the hours and staying up till 11 o'clock at night with my laptop still on my lap. Because I nailed down, I got organised, I got sorted, and I worked out how to structure my day to get the most out of it so that I could use that window of time for deep focused work to my advantage and grow my business and move the needle forward. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. How you can build a successful business during those limited hours so that you can grow without sacrificing precious family time. When your kids are at school and you have got Monday to Friday to work on your business while they are at school, it can feel like you have got all the time in the world. But it can go super, super fast, especially if you are easily distracted by things around the house and that those non-essential tasks that can wait until later that you're surrounded by, you feel like they are constantly calling your name. I know that struggle all too well. My office is literally opposite my kitchen. And so whenever I put laundry on and I hear that ping of the machine, knowing that it's done, it is really hard to actually just ignore that distraction and keep going and stay focused. But when you structure your day and you do the things that I'm going to share with you, you can actually stay focused and not get distracted, that you can get things done and you can make the most of the time so that when it does come time to jump in that car or walk down the road to go and get your kids from school, you feel like you've actually accomplished, that you've ticked things off your to-do list, that you are winning instead of feeling frustrated and like you've just been spinning in circles all day, or even just looking at the clock and looking at your to-do list and wondering where on earth the time went. Building a successful business in the margins of the school day is totally possible, but it is all about working smarter, not harder. You don't need to work longer in order to achieve what you want to achieve in your business. These strategies, the strategies that I personally use and that I share with my clients to help them get the most out of their day and to be able to get things done in that deep focused time when your kids are at school, really are game changing. They're all about prioritizing high impact tasks, having that structured routine, knowing what your boundaries are, and making the most of those limited hours and getting things done. So you're ready to stop feeling like you are constantly playing beat the clock. Here's how to maximize those school day hours, how to get the most out of your day between school drop off and pick up. First up is to map out the time that you have. Have a look at the school calendar and see exactly how much time you have and you want to work on your business during each week. The best way to do this is to sync your business with your child's school calendar by using my term time roadmap, ditching all of the rules and everything you know about quarterly planning and goal success strategies, and actually design your business so that it matches your child's school calendar. Instead of using quarterly planning, use the term times that your child has. Break your business down into the terms to match your child's school, and then break them down into the number of weeks for each term and give your goals the deadline that matches the end of term date with your child. This is just the most unbelievable game changer, and it is the foundation of everything that I do and how I run and manage my business. And when I started doing this 2 years ago, it absolutely changed everything. Now, when I go into my business every single day, week, and every single term, I know exactly how many days and how many weeks I have got to work on my goals and get everything done. It gives you so much clarity, so much focus, and so much structure. And best of all, it's in alignment with everything else that is going on in your family. So map out the time that you have. And if you are not using the term time roadmap yet, go and get my roadmap workshop. It gives you everything and lays it out in 60 minutes and will help you to do exactly that. It will help you to create your very own roadmap so that you know exactly what time you have. Because if you are wanting to get the most out of those school days, if you are working in the margins of the school day and you want to get the most out of those days between that 8:30, 9 o'clock and 2:30, whenever you then leave and pack up and go and do the school run, if you have synced your business with your child's school calendar, you are going to find it so much easier because you will know exactly how much time you have to work on your business. And when you know that, it becomes so much easier to break down and figure out what you can get done every single day. So map out the time you have and then look at it week by week and check in, preferably on a Sunday evening or first thing Monday morning, so that you know exactly how much time you have that week based on all of the other appointments, errands, and everything else us mums have to do, so that you know what time you have got available that week to work on your business. For me, I know that generally the majority of my days are usually around 8:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon. I usually take half an hour lunch somewhere between 12 and 1, usually with my hubby because he works from home as well. And then the rest of the time I know is deep focused time that I can focus on my business. So how much time do you have? Get super clear on what time you have got each day. Next is to check in on your goals. Where are you and what do you need to do next? Get a list of and make a list of those top priorities. Know what your most impactful tasks are. What is it that you need to work on to take you a step closer to accomplishing your goals, but ultimately moving the needle forward in your business? Because if you are limited on time and you've only got a few hours each day, or if you've got a day where you don't have that full school hour because you've got errands to run and appointments to go to, make sure that when you are setting your tasks for that day, that they are the most impactful task, the ones that are going to move the needle forward. Because I've been there and I still even do it now sometimes, that it's so easy to just pick the tasks that look great or the tasks that you fancy working on or the tasks that make you feel busy but aren't actually getting you to where you need to be. Make sure you focus on those needle movers first. If it helps, create that first power hour where you set aside that initial time when you first sit down at your desk and make that first hour that focus hour. If that is when your energy levels are best, make that first hour your focus hour and dive in and get something done that is going to move the needle forward, that is going to drive your income, that is going to grow your email list. Whatever your priorities are, use that first hour and make sure before you go and do other things and other tasks in your business that you are doing something that is going to get you further forward. Because then if something happens later on in the day, or you'll get that phone call that your kid has had a bump in PE, or they've thrown up, or they're not feeling very well and you have to go and get them, you've still made progress regardless, and you still feel accomplished instead of frustrated and annoyed because the task that you know that you really needed to do, you saved till the afternoon and now you can't do it. I have been there more times than I can tell you. So when you are looking at your day and mapping out what you're going to do, make sure that you focus on those needle movers forward, get those done, and then you are free to do whatever else you need to do. And if things go awry or you have to leave the house earlier than planned, you've still achieved. Then to get your work done, one of the most effective strategies for being productive and staying focused is to use time blocking. This has been such a game changer for me. It took a little while for me to get my head around it and stay focused, and with my ADHD brain to not get distracted. But time blocking is super effective because you know then that you can set the clock and that you can just get focused. You know that it's for a set amount of time, and then afterwards you can get up, you can walk away, you can take a break, you can make a cup of tea, you can go and put another load of laundry in the machine if you like. And you can go and scroll on Instagram and look at French Bulldog videos, which is usually what I do at the end of my sessions. But having that time blocking structure and breaking your day, the time that you have during those school focused hours, breaking them down into different time blocks so that you can know what you're going to map out and work on each day really helps you to stay focused. And it gives you that reassurance that you know that you've got the time mapped out to get things done and you know what you're working on. One of my big stresses is not knowing what I'm doing each day. I hate sitting at my desk first thing in the morning and spinning my wheels, looking at my list and not having any clue what I need to do. And so the day before, I will actually map out my time blocks, put them in my diary so that I know what I'm doing. I've actually got a planner. I use the Blocks planner. I'll put a link to it in the show notes that you can get on Amazon, and I absolutely love it because it's almost like a week to view diary, but it has got 4 or 5 columns in it across the page. And I use that as my time blocking. And so break your day down into sections that make the most sense for you, whether it's 20 minutes or you're using the Pomodoro technique, but it's 40 minutes, it's 50 minutes, it's an hour and a half. Break your day down into blocks that make the most sense for you and that match your personality type of knowing how long you can sit there to focus. If you find that you do really well sitting down for an hour and a half or 2 hours and just plowing through, go for it. Make your time blocks that long. If you prefer 20 minutes because you know you get easily distracted, go for 20 minutes. I've tried 90 minutes, I've tried 40 minutes. What works really well for me is breaking my diary down into hourly blocks, and then I actually set the timer for 50 minutes. And then at the end of those 50 minutes, when the time is up, I take a 10-minute break. I go and wander, I walk around the house, I go and put that extra load of laundry on, I maybe go and dust a room quickly. I'll do something that gets me moving because it gets me up away from my desk. It helps get the blood moving, just getting a little bit of a wander. It's a good opportunity for me to go and get a glass of water, and it just breaks those few minutes up. But I really like breaking my day down into those time blocking sections because then you know that you've got a set time where you are specifically working on something and you know what you're aiming to work towards before that timer goes off. And it really does help you to stay focused. So my time blocks, they tend to be, I have an early session in the morning when it's 8:30 when I first get back, and that's 8:30 until 10 o'clock. Then I do 10 till 11, 11 till 12. I have that lunch break, usually around 12, 12:30. And then I have another deep dive session from 12:30 until 2 o'clock. And then I save that last half an hour from 2 till 2:30 where I just wind up my day and I map out what I need to do for the following day. And then those different time blocks, I'll have a look at what my most priorities are, what are my needle movers, depending on what day it is as well, and I'll map out what I need to do. It's not always set in stone. I tend usually sometimes because of my ADHD, I can plan, but then I'll look at it and think, no, I don't want to do that. But I know what my priorities are. And so sometimes I'll swap the blocks around as to what I'm doing. But knowing and just having that rough plan in place can really help you give you some structure and help you to stay focused. So time block out your day. Ask yourself what works for you, what length of time works, and then think about what tasks you can do within those. Next up is if you're going to do those time blocking sessions, or just so that you can stay focused, is to remove those distractions. If you've got the washing machine going, shut the door. Put your phone on silent, close down all of your tabs, and allow yourself that space to do that focused work and get things done. Because if you're time blocking for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever it is that crops up, even checking your emails, ignore and resist the temptation to do that until that time is up. Remove those distractions so that you can stay focused and you can get work done. Because everything else, that can wait. It will all still be there for you, waiting for you when that time block session is done. As well as distractions like the washing machine and your phone and resisting the urge to check your emails and scrolling on social media, make sure also distractions wise that you've checked in with your stress triggers. What is there that sets you off and frustrates you or annoys you that you know is going to distract you during your working day? Now, I've talked about stress triggers before and I've mentioned them as part of the love yourself pillar that I take my coaching clients through. When we're looking at and focusing on and nurturing making your well-being a priority, one of the things in order for you to be able to take better care of yourself and thrive at work is to know what your stress triggers are, to get in touch with the things that set you off and frustrate and annoy you and deal with them and have plans in place to manage them so that they don't stress you out. I've got an episode coming up in a couple of weeks where we dive into the most common mompreneur stress triggers and how to deal with them. But while you're looking at this and thinking about eliminating distractions, check in on what your stress triggers are. There's two that will always guaranteed set me off. One of them is my house being a mess. I can't bear it if my house is a mess on a Monday morning. When I first start my week, kids are at school and I want to sit down and get my work done. If my house is in a mess, I am super distracted. I can't think straight for one because it's messy, but also I just want to then just go off and tidy up. And so to accommodate that and deal with it and eliminate that stress trigger, one of the strategies that I've brought in is that on a Monday morning, I will spend that first time block of that 8:30 till 10 a.m. I will spend that first time block working my way around my house, blitzing it, giving it a super quick clean, tidy up, dust, run the hoover, and do everything I need to in that hour and a half so that my house feels relatively spick and span. And then that means I am then free to sit down and focus on my work. And actually, when I sit down at my desk after I've blitzed my house, that big sigh of relief and that weight off my shoulders, knowing that my house is tidy, I really do feel like I can concentrate and I can dive straight in. The other stress trigger that's huge for me is not knowing what I'm cooking for dinner. I absolutely hate having a really good day, shut down my PC, walk into the kitchen, and then think, oh crap, what am I cooking for dinner? That really does send me nuts. I can't cope with that. I find it extremely stressful, especially if I've then got to wander down to the grocery store and go and grab something. And so I make sure that I look at and create my meal plan. It's only a rough meal plan because plans change, but I like having a rough meal plan for the week. So I'll create that on a Sunday night of coming up with 5 different meals that are from my go-to meals list that are quick and easy to rustle up, that I know I have the ingredients for, and I make sure that I've got everything in stock when I do my grocery shopping. So that when it comes to 5 o'clock and I've finished my work and I've spent a little bit of time with Harry and I'm ready to go into the kitchen and start chefing dinner, I know exactly what I'm cooking. Those are my stress triggers. So when you are looking at eliminating your distractions, spend a few moments thinking about what your distractions, what your stress triggers are, and how you can accommodate and deal with those and cut them off at the pass so that you are free to do that focused work and you're not distracted by them or feeling stressed out by them during that focused school hours work. And then lastly is to allow some buffer time just in case. So I mentioned this previously in the last episode, just to make when you're thinking about your goals and setting deadlines for them to allow buffer time for your goals, because things always take longer than we think they're going to. But it's also important during your day as well, is to allow buffer times. So whilst we're talking about time blocking, allow yourself a little bit of wiggle room and a little bit of time at the end of each one so that you've got some buffer time at the end of the day to catch up and maybe tweak a few things or finish something up if you didn't quite get a chance to do it. That's exactly why my time blocks, although my diary, I plan them out hour by hour, my blocks are only 50 minutes because then that gives me 10 minutes at the end of each round before I start my next project or I carry on what I'm working on. It gives me 10 minutes to just wander off and go and do what I need to do. Gives me some buffer time. If I've got a phone call or I need to book the dentist or I need to do something, that I've got the time to do that. It gives me that buffer time and it just makes the stress levels just a little bit lower and makes you feel like you can still, you've got, you've still got this, that you're still in control and that you're still winning your day. So give yourself some buffer time. Equally, it's the same for me after school as well. Sometimes if Harrison's got an after school club or he is on a Wednesday night, he tends to play PlayStation with his friends because my husband has a late evening call, that he will have that extra time. So I will gain an hour on a Wednesday evening. So generally, although I finish at 2:30, and I may do a little bit of work in the car when I'm waiting for him to come out of school. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll get that little extra pocket of time of 45, 50 minutes on a Wednesday evening, and that is my buffer time. I could fill that with doing something else, but actually, that's my kind of midweek buffer time that if I haven't finished up what I wanted to do, and I feel like I'm starting to maybe not complete what I want to by the end of the week, I'll use that extra hour just to wrap up something else instead of getting distracted and working on busy work. So give yourself some buffer time. Take a look at your day and take a look at your week and ask yourself where it makes the most sense for you to add that buffer time in. But that's it, really. That's all that is needed to help you get the most out of your day, to actually just making the most of your time, using your time effectively, getting intentional about how you are actually doing it, and all about working smarter, not harder, making the most of that time that you have, prioritizing those high impact tasks, knowing what time you have got, mapping out what time you've got available based on that term time roadmap, syncing your business with your child's academic year and breaking your business down into terms and into weeks, and then structuring your day to fit within the school hours. Knowing what time you've got, picking those high impact tasks, making the most of that initial hour in the morning to get that heavy focus work done so that you know that you've accomplished and then you're free to do other things so that if the plans do go awry, you get that phone call from school, you know that you've actually got some important work that is going to move the needle forward done and everything else is a bonus. Use time blocking to your advantage, whether it's the Pomodoro, it's 20 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever works for you. Break down your day into chunks and choose tasks and projects that you know you can complete within that time. Giving yourself a few minutes at the end of it to go for a wander, to stretch your legs, to grab a glass of water, and put that another load in the laundry if you need to. Make sure you're eliminating your distractions and don't forget to check in on what your stress triggers are and come up with a plan to deal with them so that you can manage those and you're free to do that focus work during your time blocking sessions without getting distracted. And then finally, don't forget to allow that buffer time just in case, especially at the end of the week, so that you can wrap up and you have got time to finish off and close up your week so that you are then free to enjoy your weekend with your family without worrying about all of the things that you need to remember for the coming week or beating yourself up and feeling like a failure because you haven't finished the things that you wanted to do. Breaking your day up into this and doing these strategies this way really will help you get the most out of your day and feel like you are winning during that in between times of drop off and pick up rather than feeling like you are playing beat the clock. Instead of scrambling to make progress, you are free and knowing that you can do exactly, you're in that power, you've got that control to make the most of your day And although that time may feel short and it goes in the blink of an eye, if you follow these steps and implement this to organize your day, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. I hope that this episode has helped. I would love to hear from you what your biggest takeaway is. Send me a DM over on Instagram at the Unapologetic Mompreneur. And if you have not yet synced your business with your child's school calendar, go and do it now. It's January. Now is the perfect time to do it. And if you want a little bit of help, don't forget that there is the Term Time Roadmap Workshop Masterclass. You'll find the link for that in the show notes. And if you want help, personalized support one-on-one to help you put that together and help you create your plan and break it down and help you come up with a plan to structure your day exactly as we've talked about in this episode, come and book a power hour with me, and in 60 minutes, I will help you to make that happen. And you will walk away with everything outlined, knowing exactly what you need to do and a clear plan for you to follow. You've got this, Mama, and I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.